So how you been?
I've been good. Just trying to get back in the swing of things. I'm going back to work soon, like regular job work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that soon. I'm doing good. I'm happy.
Good. All right. So you ready to talk about Fete Finders?
Wait, can I do side by side too? Huh?
I think so. Up in the corner.
Actually, I don't.
Where it says speaker view.
Oh, view. There you go.
Yeah, you change it.
So gallery view.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
A world of a difference.
All right. Learn something new every day. Hell yeah.
Now we're ready. Okay.
But how are you doing today? I didn't even ask you that.
You know, we're starting, by the way. This is all going to go on there. But I'm fine. I just came back from a little weekend in where did we go? Ocean City, Maryland, with my homegirls.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was it? I see a lot of people going to Ocean City.
Great. It was so needed. Like, I think we planned that trip in like maybe 2 weeks or less. Yeah. And it was just, I had never planned something where everybody got on board in like less than 24 hours. And it just goes to show how bad COVID got people like itching to just get away, you know, from work or from their kids or from whatever their current situation is. It was just a much needed, you know, and it wasn't like we did anything. We just wanted to be somewhere else and just sit, right? Just sit down.
Gotcha.
And relax and be amongst friends and just literally chilled. So
yes,
yeah,
that's always nice.
What about you? What'd you do this weekend?
All right. I had our first official event that we was attached to. Well, not first official, but our first paid event that we was attached to.
Okay.
It was good. We did Week Cultures DMV, Labor Day in the DMV, which was really good.
Nice. So we talked to, you're introducing like what you just, the things that you just did, but like tell our listeners who you are, what you do, basically all about Fete Finders, the origin story, all of that. Okay.
I am the owner and CEO of Fete Finders, LLC. What we do. So basically what we do, we want to broaden everyone's view of the Caribbean scene. So if it from selling tickets to having a space where if you're a Caribbean related business or company, you can come post on our site and just promote, and we'll put money into promoting your business or your brand. So that's some of the stuff we do. The origin of Fete Finder started out because we noticed that some of our friends, family, and fellow Fetters have come across things that they were getting scammed, or they didn't know who, when it came to reselling their tickets, they didn't know who to go to or who to trust. So on our platform, we'll give you a certified, when you register for our platform, you become a certified user. We have your number, we have your email. So on that same platform, you can talk and communicate with the seller or the buyer at the same time on a live platform. So the premise has changed over the last few months to become where, well, not only can we have resale tickets and costumes, we can be a service to the promoter where they can come on at a competitive price and sell their own Fete tickets to their events. Or if you have concerts, anything something like an Eventbrite would do, but just at a cheaper rate, a very cheaper rate. And then they can do the same thing. They can verify their users, get contact lists, and we can all grow as a community on one platform.
Got you. So that sounds very it sounds very technical. And so I'm wondering what struggles you face so far setting up.
So setting up, we did a test this weekend where we were trying to see if we can hold the bandwidth. So we needed to upgrade our bandwidth this weekend. So we had to take a downtime to do that. Some other struggles are, I wouldn't call them struggles, but hurdles that we have to get over of knowing what the consumer wants in need on a platform that's doing ticketing. Do you guys want to go straight into it? How do you want to get to know the community that you're in? For example, we do blogs of DJs, different DJs, promoters, influencers within the Caribbean community. So we wanted to know do you prefer to read or do you want a video? Come to find out, a lot of people like video. So it's touch and go. So, and as you know, in this industry, you have to adapt. So before we make our hard launch, we wanted to just get viewers' opinions, and we got them and the feedback, and then trying to have a platform where we do exactly what we say, exactly what we say we're going to do. We don't overpromise. Gotcha. So making sure we don't overpromise and making sure that everything is, we can do what we can, or what we say we can do.
Okay. Yeah, I can attest to the people who don't want to read fix. Because I mean, it's true. It's like, as time evolves, like people are getting, the amount of time that they spend on an article, especially something that's all text, is, they short. Don't want to do it, right? It's
very short.
Attention span is very short. And so videos are a thing, but it's like when I think of myself, there are moments where I want to read, and then there are moments where I don't feel like watching a video.
Exactly.
I don't know what it's going to be about, and especially depending on the length of it. So it's just like, and which is why I started a damn podcast, because I'm like, I can just do this. And for those who like listening, they can listen and they can get the extended versions of the things that I used to write about in my blogs. But, I feel like, but you have people who don't like listening to podcasts, right? Who don't like this. So it's just like, you're trying to be there for everybody, right?
Everybody. But you can't, I learned that you can't please everybody.
Oh, absolutely not. You can't please
There's no way you can. And then going through this time period of COVID, you get to sit back and watch people and how people are doing, especially within the family, within the Caribbean family. For example, you influenced us a lot because when you came out with your podcast and everything, it was like, wow, that's a great idea. But then also to shine a light on you in particular because I know we sat down before already. You have been a very influential figure among us in growing our company. So we kind of like, Tingz Nice is doing good. so we have a role model, and as a startup, is her. So it was you. So it's like, okay, let's run this and bounce this off of people. How do you prefer your interviews of the DJs and artists? Oh, video. We want video. But if you don't mind just transcribing a few, that'd be great too. I'm like, okay. So what we're doing now is that we're going to transcribe and do videos and we'll pick and choose as we go along.
Right. How do you do that? Like, how do you transcribe? Is there an app for that, or does it come with one of the streaming services, or you can do that by hand, like manually? I doubt it.
No, she acts the scenes and does the transcribing. Also, we're looking to incorporate college interns within the Caribbean community and to outsource and do our transcribing. It won't be a lot. It's not all interviews are mostly like about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's not a bad workload.
Got you. So you talked about it a little bit, but there are a lot of Caribbean brands out there promoting the carnival culture. But so basically, how do you feel that Fete Finders is going to differ from the rest of the pack.
Okay. So we're not coming in to take over the field. We want to bring everybody together on one platform. And if we can't, we still want to show support to everybody else that's doing the same thing, because we want to influence each other and bring together the community. But how we differ, one of the main ways is that a percentage of the proceeds that we collect for tickets, whether it be tickets, for you to post a listing on our site, we give back to the Caribbean community, whether it be disaster relief, clothing for children or Caribbean within the Caribbean countries to go to school, laptop computers. We are making that push towards that. With bigger pitches to start a nonprofit organization for that. So we want to encompass everybody and have us to be all inclusive instead of just this person's over there, that person's over there. Even if you're doing the same thing as us, we want to include you, because that is the premise of our site. As we thought, the vision I had was, when you were younger, everybody knew everybody. It was together. And then as getting older and becoming part of the Soca scene or the Caribbean scene, whether it be dance hall or Soca, it's like, it's money, 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 money. And we forgot the groundwork of that togetherness of what brings everybody to the Caribbean culture and what we started on as from the beginning.
Okay. So that was a good definition. Because what I find is that, I think a lot of people always ask, like, well, there's so much competition, right? And then you have, especially new brands that are coming out sometimes, they might be discouraged because there might be someone already doing something similar. So they're usually not so eager to go forth with their brand, or they have so many reservations, or they might be, scared to kind of just get out there because, they don't want to feel like a copycat. So, I always tell people, like, you're going to have you're not going to be 100% the same as somebody else regardless. So just do what it is.
No, not at all.
Right?
Not at all. So even to piggyback on that, I don't want to take over your podcast.
All right, fine, go for it.
So even to piggyback on that, as when we started, there were so many people doing it, like you would think the same thing that we're doing. But your question was, what makes us different? So even people that's coming out now, a few people that has came out after us, I've sat and I talked to them, and even though we have similar ideas, it's like, let's support each other. It's not for me, it's not a battle because you have an idea that's similar to somebody else's. If you want to start a company, I'll give advice, I'll give help, I'll even point you in the direction of somebody that can, because we're all about encompassing that family, because at the end of the day, we are a family. Because of that when you go to Fetes, you see the same people, the same faces, and it's like, oh my God, I didn't know you was gonna be here. So now it's like, oh, let's just come together. Let's encompass everybody because we are a family. And I'm not going to get discouraged because somebody else is doing the same thing we're doing or something similar. So just pushing forward and maintaining that confidence.
Gotcha. So the event that you spoke about earlier, that was a live event? That was a physical event this past weekend?
That was a physical event. Yeah, that was a physical outside among folks.
So talk to me about that. Like, because you have you have people on the scene like myself that's like, I'm not going anywhere with, around people that I don't know, at least who I don't know that are being safe. So like, what are your thoughts on the whole COVID-19 Fete scene? Like, are you pro health? Are you pro fun? How was it? I don't know how involved you were with the Fete, but if you were deeply involved, like, what was the setup process like? What hurdles were there in planning that? I'm just curious, to know, because we saw a lot of IG stories and it was like, oh, that definitely looks like more than 50 people. Yeah. Nobody's wearing a mask, and
I'm kind of on the fence. I'll be honest. I believe that we can be pro health and pro fun at the same time, but with a strong urge of caution. So this again, my business provides a service, just like an Eventbrite, just like Elite Tickets, just like Island E tickets. We are a service, a platform that you can sell the tickets on. Mm-hmm. What we do, we'll go to the event because we're just starting out, so we want to do brand awareness. So we'll come to your event and we'll help out.
Okay.
But best to believe we got our mask on, and I don't want to put my employees at risk, so I'm the one that's out there with my mask on at the door. Hey, did you get your tickets? Who do you get your tickets from? Did you get it from Fete Finder? Hey, how was your experience? So I have to have feet on the ground for people that's actually doing the events and for the promoter that use my company. In the process of setting up this particular event, we made sure, the promoter made sure that according to our state law, where you can have 250 people at the event, at the gathering. Also, I won't even call it an event because 250 is a lot of people. So you can have 250 people, or 75%. So you have to have on your hand sanitizer available. As the spacing apart was difficult, but most people made sure they had on a mask. So, and then me, I was working the door. I went from the DJ booth to the door, and best to believe, and that flowed that from the DJ booth to the door, I had on a mask. It's just, and then when people that don't have a mask, you police each other. Hey, if we're going to talk, we put on a mask. So there was a couple of groups of us that they'll come talk to me and say, hey, put on your mask before we do this video. So I don't want to give off the wrong impression, but also get yourself tested. Mm-hmm. A lot of things, there are a lot of services that offer the testing. If you have healthcare, it's free. If you don't, there's places around us in our county that it's like $40 to get tested, and you're good. Just police yourselves and be cautious. I can't control everybody else, but I can control the proximity that I am of you. So whether I choose to be 6 feet away or up close, as long as you're wearing a mask, I think it becomes the individual's decision. But I'm not going to say, oh my God, we should stop having events because COVID is the big scare. Yes, COVID's a risk. I had members of my family experience COVID and survive, but I also had friends and family that experienced COVID and died. Same. So I believe, I definitely believe I'm on the fence, but rightly so. I know the economy as it is within the Caribbean community has taken a big hit. So how can you tell somebody to be pro-health or pro-fun when now our livelihoods are affected on both sides of the fence? Only do what you can afford here. So if you think you can go to an event and you have that and you're like, I don't think I should go, then don't go. But if there's people out there that's taking the risk, nobody's putting a gun to your head and saying, hey, go to this party. No.
True. Thank you for sharing.
Kind of long-winded, I know.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's why we're here to chat. So what were your plans? Like, what were you supposed to do in 2020 as far as carnivals were concerned? What was supposed to?
Everything. So I say everything because we're new. We are new, so we wanted to be everywhere and anywhere. So if you had a carnival, you had a fete, we wanted to be there, so you support, highlight you, and just, again, bring everybody together and show the outside world what this culture is all about. The Caribbean culture. We had plans for Jamaica, St. Kitts. We had so many plans, and just nothing happened. Is crazy, but we're here for it, and we're just letting our name be known now. So when 2021 hit, or 2022, whenever we're fetting again, we're there.
Got you. When is the hard launch for Fete Finders?
The hard launch, when the world opens up fully again, that'll be the hard launch. But so if I had to pick a time and date for it, I would say beginning of 2021.
Okay.
The be the hard launch. It gives us time, just to go off on a tangent. This gave us time to. I look at the good that COVID has done. In a sense, it's hard to say that, but it gave us time to reevaluate, fix what needs to be fixed. It wasn't like the whole world was looking at us. So it was like, hey, this didn't work. We can come back and go over this and brush this up and revamp. Where if we said, hey, this is our hard launch, and then the website go down. And the whole world is looking at us like, ha, don't use Fete Finders.
Have a Soca brainwash moment.
Yeah, we don't want to have that. And we kind of did, but it wasn't on a big enough stage to be like, oh my God, look at them. So in order to help rectify that, we actually went out and work with the promoter. Say, hey, this is what we promised you, but hey, we'll give you some available hands to help with your event because we didn't do you justice. Okay. So this is how we give back, but also that workmanship, it's like, okay, I will work with them again because they kind of made up for the accident. And it was none of us. It was just dealing with electronics and business is a lot. You don't know what's going to happen any given day. Right. So now we're more prepared to deal with the next order of events that happens. Okay.
And how many people are on your team? Like, how many people do you work with?
So we have six people on our team. 5 of them are like brand ambassadors, and but we have one technical website developer and me, the CEO, and a CEO. That's it. So 6, including me, so 7.
Gotcha.
So 7 altogether.
I wanted to talk, and this is just kind of like personal, not necessarily Fete Finder related, but I know that there are a number of people that I know that are, serving, right, in military life. So how does that, like, what's that like, right? Like, what's military life like as a Caribbean American, carnival chaser, all that? Yeah, I'm just kind of curious.
In my younger days, it was hard. In my younger days, but as I got older, I came to the terms of, if anything, you go to your growing pains. So it was a balance. So when I first came in joined the military 16 years ago, now almost 16 years ago, it was different. So it wasn't even just being a Caribbean American in the military. It was just merely the fact of being an African American in the military, which the mindset is totally different. So you're getting in there because most of us, and I can't speak for everybody, but I joined to get a paycheck and get 3 hots in a cot. I want to serve my country, but I need a place to sleep. So joining the military helped me in a way, and more than just one way, in tremendous, like, hundreds of ways. But being Black and African American in the military was a challenge. And then to listen to a type of music that these folks was not listening to, it was rough. So if I could speak for anybody, when you listen to soca, whether it be calypso, dancehall, it puts you in a different headspace. So this whole day you're getting screamed at by these people and that people, but when you come into your own, you want to vibe out to your soca, to your calypso, to your dancehall, to your reggae, and just vibe out. So if you're in your bed and they hear it and they're like, "What's that?" It leads to a whole bunch of stuff. Don't disrespect my music. I don't disrespect your stuff. And it became a big conflict of interest for a while. But as I got older and transitioned to being welcome into everybody's opinion, and everybody has one, I became more accepting of, okay, that's your opinion, but I'm still going to listen to my stuff. And then along the way, I met a sergeant from Dominica that shared my viewpoint. and we just rocked out together, whether it be anything, any type of music. And we let it know that we'll listen to yours, but give us a shot. Even if the hardships of just, if you need a space in your head, listen to your music. Get out this screaming and because I've been to war twice. It helps. Soca music helps. I don't care what anybody says. This is my opinion.
It
helps.
Though.
And it also helped other soldiers as well. Yeah, it helped other soldiers. And they're like, man, Sergeant Gladden is happy all the time. It's me personally, but it's the music that helps as well. I always got a smile on my face. So just push forward. And as I got to where I'm at right now in the military, I can pass it down. Say, hey, this is what helped me through. This is my culture helped me through. Find something to believe in that makes you happy. Think about it. And let that push you and guide you through and keep you in good spirits. Because if you stress on the bad, it's just gonna get worse. Think of that moments that where you felt happy, especially if you're away. Because we in the military, we spend a lot of time away from home. But on another topic, it was like going to carnivals and trying to get away to carnivals, knowing that, hey, I got a job to do. So that became a touchy subject as well. It's like, oh my God, I gotta take leave. Gladden, you always taking leave. Carnival year round. So trying to find out, there's been plenty of times I've taken leave without pay just to go to carnival, just the money I've saved up. And he said, how are you going to all these carnivals? I save up because I don't do anything. Right. If I'm home, like, people that they'll fet with you, and you don't have to, you budget. You know that, hey, the next carnival coming, so I got a budget for this, I got a budget for that, and we budget a year out. That's the smart thing to do. Some people wait till the last minute. I don't got that lifestyle. Yes. I got a budget a year out, and then it seems like a lot of going out, but it's because I budgeted for it and I plan and I pace. Yes. So I might not hit every carnival that year, but I'm gonna hit at least 2 or 3 just because I paced for it.
No, I can relate to that whole when people assume that, oh, where you getting this money from? Well, you must be loaded. Like my mother was like that. Like, oh, you going here? Where you going this time? Oh, you going here? You going there? I was like, no, I don't have money. I just plan in advance and I save. That's how it works. Like I'm not just spewing out like all this dough at one time. I'm setting aside as I go on, and I know what I want to do. Probably the year before.
Yes, sometimes 2 years. Right. 2 years, you already know.
Like, no, I'm not rich. I don't got it like that. I'm just planning. It's not like great at planning. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and shoot, I'm not even great at planning. I just know carnivals are coming.
That's it. Money goes aside.
So that's like, that's it.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And in regards to your comments about soca music, I think my first reaction was to, use those moments as teachable moments for people, especially when they're not familiar with the culture. But it also depends on like how they came at you when they were hearing the music, and I understand that.
I use them as teachable moments.
Yeah, in your younger days, I know that it was probably like you probably like quick to get at them or whatever. But it sounds like you matured and started to turn.
As we all should.
Yeah. So, but it's true. Soca will change your whole mood. I remember, like, if I'm in a funk and I'm in the car and I just happen to throw on some soca, especially like soca that you haven't heard in a minute, because we tend to get used to like the current stuff. But it's like, you know what? Let me throw on this Private Ryan mix from like 2010, right? And then you listen to it, and then you get transported back to that time, whether it's a carnival or a moment. Like when I listen to music, I just go back to wherever I was. Like I can smell what I was smelling. I can all my senses just kick into high gear.
Ooh, I just got a tingle just now.
Yeah, so I know what you mean. I can only imagine like how healing that can be, especially like if you were at war in those moments. You know what I mean? So
because at the end of the day, regardless of what, we live in the moments of the music. Like a song can hit, I bet you a song can play, and then we can play like, I remember who I was whining on, I remember what I had to eat, I remember what fete I was at. Like you remember everything. It just comes to you and it overflows you. And especially if it was a really good moment, you just smiling, you're like, oh, you're like, what you smiling for? Nah, just see, just
you're not gonna understand. You're not
gonna understand. You gotta be there. So yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've exhausted all the questions that I had. Anything you want to toss my way to answer?
Yeah. So I want to say thank you again for having me. This is just as a young and up and coming business, just for you to take the time with me I'm so thankful. We're so thankful and grateful for this. A question for you would be like, honestly, with all your success, and congratulations to all your success, because it's success because you're still going and we're still rocking with you. And I asked you to be on your show. So just that there's a want and need for it. And where you're at now, it's like, I know you have so much great stuff in the works. So for me, it's like, how do you balance all this? Because I don't know what you do in your personal life, but how do you balance everything? Because I know that can be stressful.
I won't even say that I can't say that it's easier now, because I was about to say it's easier now because I'm employed. But it's not, like, because it's turned into like this whole full-time job. But before, when I had a whole, when I was working, for the man, it would be because I worked in education, so I'm at work by 7:00 in the morning, and so we leave at like 4 or later, depending on what's happening. And so I wouldn't dedicate time to the brand until after, right? So it was like you had work, and then you had a whole full, another almost 8 hours of stuff when you got home, or when I got home. So it's just a matter of, again, planning. I think if you know what you have to do, it's not like it can't be an on-the-spot thing, right? It can't be something that you're like, oh, I'll just see how the wind blows, tomorrow. I'll just, see what happens on Wednesday. It's not that kind of, if you want to be consistent, right? Yeah. And you want to be successful, you gotta do it every day, and you have to be intentional about what you do and how you do it.
You gotta put in work.
You gotta put in the freaking work. So, even, I caught myself because when COVID first hit, and then I was like furloughed, and then so I would like wake up at 10:00, and then I would, go to bed at like 3:00 in the morning, and then I'm like, wait, this is not working. So I put back right. So now I'm like, every day I'm still getting up at 6:30, and I'm still, you fit in the fitness, and you fit in the, the organizing and the planning, and then you have a days for this. So it's just legit, just planning. I live for my planner and my calendar and all types of stuff. Like, my brain is always going,
Yeah. So just even to piggyback on that, it's like, that's why me as a business owner, I admire you. I do. Because even with that, like, just to even, I'm learning it now because I do a lot. I got a lot of stuff going on, especially between college, Army life, being a police officer. So I'm in the Army Reserves. I know everybody's getting confused, like, how are you in the Army and a police officer? Yeah, I'm in the Army Reserves, but I'm also a police officer, and now I own my own business. So planning has been you are the weakest link. Like, your team is only as strong as the weakest link. So I have to kind of put my military lifestyle in this business as well, because you got to be up. I got to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, well, a somewhat healthy lifestyle. I'm not even going to do that. A somewhat healthy lifestyle, and still know that I got responsibilities. I gotta go to work. I gotta do drill. And sometimes Army life, it's like even though you're doing drill, it's still 24/7. They're calling you for trainings and programs that they want you to be a part of. But also you got a business that it's a startup. So now you got to put all this time. So there's been days that I get like 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep because for me, again, I say this a lot, the juice is definitely worth the squeeze for me. So I'm giving everything I got to this business. And again, like I said, you have been a big influential person in that among other people that has their own and doing their thing. It's like, oh my God, yes, I want to be able to stand next to my peers and say, hey, I'm here. I'm here. So that's basically what I'm saying. So again, thank you for that.
Actually, thank you. How long have you been a police officer?
I've been a police officer since 2013.
Okay.
2013, been a police officer. A lot of people don't know. You keep your business. I tell people a business. and because some people, they like, how are you a police officer? Like, don't worry about it. I like it. It's cool. Just giving back on a personal note, it's like just where I've come from until now has been very enduring. Like it's been difficult. Mm-hmm. So to come from my background where I was homeless, living on the street, to where I'm at now, to be like, I can do this. And the world doesn't owe me anything. It's just, how can I give back to the world and make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else? And show people that, hey, you can do this. You've been in foster care, but you can own your own business. You've been homeless, but you can get your college degree. So I get my college degree in a week and a half.
Yes.
I have my college degree.
So I'm not even trying to make this, especially at the end of our podcast, extra like morbid. Yeah. But
no, I'm sorry.
No. I have a question I'm about to ask, and I'm just like,
go ahead. All right.
So, with that being said, you being a police officer and such, and with all the drama that has been going on, all the racial tension and stuff, like, how are things on the job? Has it been tension between people of the lighter, complexion? What does that look like?
So I can only speak for me and a couple of other people that's in that will probably believe the same way and feel the same way. Yes, I know I'm African American. I know that. I know Black Lives Matter. But when you put on that uniform and you serving and protecting, there's a right way and there's a wrong way. We acknowledging that, the way we've been doing things has been the wrong way. How can we be better? And that's my standpoint on it. Yes, a few folks, a lot of our folks have messed up. But we're not trying to let that bad apple spoil the whole bunch, because there's good officers out there. So now within a work environment, yes, this is going on. Okay, we'll reprimand as we see fit and get on. But don't get discouraged because these people, these certain individuals have put a damper on our name. We move forward. We let the people know that we are still there for them and we're here to help. As in, yes, we're going to put a special emphasis on the African American community because there's a need. It's not that all lives matter, but this particular time, Black Lives Matter, because we haven't been getting that respect. I'm always going to stand behind my community and then go from there and still support our own, because at the end of the day, if I see wrong, I'm gonna let you know, hey, that's wrong. Okay. So again, it was like, well, let me do something that I've been dreaming of doing and starting my own business. So this was sometime at the beginning of this year. It was like, oh, I can do this. I can make this a possibility, because what I did, I started an LLC like last year, but did nothing. I didn't do anything. And then when I quit, I was like, let me refocus until this job calls me back. I can push for it. I can push this, pushing for it to get known, because I believe you're known. Because every time I turn around, it's something.
Trying. I think one of the things I had to get over was, it's kind of like being a kid, right? And you have kids who are very much focused on the amount of likes and the amount of followers. And then I had to realize that it's not, well, not only coming to my own realization, but also doing research and reading articles. It's like, it's not about the numbers, right? I mean, it is about the numbers in some instances, but at the end of the day, like that number, it doesn't mean that people don't see you, right? It doesn't mean that you're not being recognized. It doesn't mean that you're less than. Like, there are people who know about you, but they may not be following you. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times we do get caught up in the numbers. And once I came out of that, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about that anymore. I'm just gonna keep doing it. So I have I have more of these little tips coming up because on Monday is actually like the 6-year anniversary of Tingz Nice. So I have like
I'll wait for it then. I'll wait for it.
So I like have all these I have 6 tips, right? 6 tips that I'm about to share, or 6 lessons learned like over the years or whatever. And so that's really like one of them. It's like,
I'm definitely watching that.
Yes. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but
man, you've been around for a long time. Trust me, I know. I know.
But before we go, just tell everybody like where they can find you, like how they can, well, I don't know if the website is up officially, or like where they can find Fete Finders.
So,
all right, y'all, we lost Sean. But I will share where you can find him. Make sure to look at the show notes and you can find out where to find Sean. Sorry about that. We had a little connection issues. Like he said, shit can always happen with technology. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.